Good morning, future writers. I hope you're doing well, and we are going to be going over argumentative essays. Now, I'm just going to touch back into a lecture that we went into class, but let me show you what it was. A couple of things. We're going to look at the argumentative essay format, which is like this. Remember, in your body of your paragraph, you want to have an opinion, fact, fact, body paragraph 2, opinion, fact, fact, and body 3 of the paragraph, opinion, fact, fact. You have your introductory paragraph and your conclusion. Now that's going to be the way the setup is, the format of the essay. Now let me go a little bit deeper and show you an example of what that looks like that we went through in class, which is this. I gave you the example in class if you had pizza, pepperoni pizza. And remember, the green here is going to be my argumentative introduction. The blue is going to be paragraph 2, or as I like to say, paragraph 1 of the body. Either way. And this evidence and reason is going to be the same thing as a reason is going to be a claim or an opinion, and evidence is going to be the fact that you're going to find to support your opinion. And the same thing over here. It's going to be reason is going to be your opinion, and the evidence will be your fact. And then we have a counterclaim and a claim. Now let me take a little bit deeper dive. Over here in the white is going to be your facts, your facts, your facts, which means that the black up here in each paragraph is going to be your opinion, 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 opinion. Now notice how each paragraph has one opinion and one fact or evidence. Another way to put this is going to be, I have a claim, which is an opinion, and a fact, which is evidence. Claim, opinion in black, and right here in white is going to be fact or evidence. Evidence and claim are going to be the higher vocabulary words to show that you are getting more and more educated, especially in the world of English and writing. And then as we go down here where we're going to talk about the green part, that's going to be the special part that really makes this a writing piece that is an argumentative writing piece, because it is going to argue a counterclaim. That counterclaim is going to be opposite of what you think your opinion is. Now, my opinion up here is pizza is wonderful food that every person loves based upon its wonderful taste with pepperoni, juicy cheese, and exquisite sauce. Now, as we're looking at that, that is an opinion. I think that pepperoni pizza is great. Somebody else might think something else is better. So, but then we're going to go down to my paragraph right here, paragraph 2, and it says, it's going to be an opinion. When I taste pepperoni on the pizza, it melts my mouth, and many people agree with this opinion. So now I'm going to give you a fact to back it up. According to the PR Newswire, nearly 4 out of 5 Americans, or 79%, believe the pizza is better with pepperoni on it. So again, we're doing opinion, fact, or we would say claim, fact, or claim evidence, claim and evidence. Now, if you want to pause and look at the rest of this, you can, but I'm going to dive into what the assignment looks like. For the assignment, instead of doing opinion, fact, opinion, fact, we're going to ask you to kick it up a little bit more with this information. Opinion in 2 pieces of fact for the body of the first paragraph. Opinion, 2 facts, opinion, 2 facts. Now pause that for a second. If you get this format down, you're going to do really well on an argumentative essay, okay? Don't forget your intro and your conclusion. Now, one of the things I want to point out to you is this right here. In my introductory paragraph, I need to have a thesis, which is an opening opinion with 3 reasons. If I go back to my example, here are my 3 reasons. The pepperoni has a wonderful taste. 1, juicy cheese right here. 2, and exquisite sauce. Those are my 3 pieces of, or three reasons for my opinion. And so then in order to, if you want to, you can add dialogue as your evidence, or you're just going to capture your evidence and put it in your areas for your paragraph to support your opinion. So in reality, you might only need to write 1, 2, 3 sentences for your body of your writing, and then maybe 2 to 3 here for your conclusion and 2 to 3 here for your intro paragraph. Now, remember, one of the most important things is that in this essay, you're going to be taking 2 pieces of evidence, and I'm going to jump into that right now. So we're going to be going to No Red Ink, and here, right here, is going to be an argumentative, a home on Mars. And let's go through that really quick. The directions. They're going to talk to you about what an argumentative essay is. A strong argument can help you convince you to change the minds and take actions on issues you care about. Now notice they're saying over here that 16-year-olds should vote, and if you write a good writing piece, you might convince people. But notice how No Red Ink gives you more. It really wants to walk you through what it is. Writers use an argumentative essay to convince readers of their opinions. An argumentative essay is more effective if it is well organized. That is going to be this organization right here. Okay, stick with that. Where do I start? Well, you're going to start with an introduction. Okay, and your introduction is going to grab the reader's attention and also have a thesis. Now remember, as I said over here, my thesis is my opinion, a sentence with my opinion, and 3 different reasons. In this case, I did wonderful taste of pepperoni, juicy cheese, and exquisite sauce. Going back to my argumentative essay. Notice how it's just giving me all the directions and more details. Then they're going to talk about your body of your paragraphs, where you need a claim, that's your opinion, and evidence. And as stated in this, you need an opinion and 2 pieces of evidence or facts. And it says you need 2 right there to give it a strong argument. Then you're going to bring your conclusion together. For today's purposes, we're not going to get too deep into the conclusion. But if you want to, you can get right into it by using No Red Ink to help give you examples. So show more useful tips. So I'm not going to focus in on credible sources just yet. But it says, what is the purpose of an argumentative essay? Well, is it to teach readers about an interesting topic or to convince them? It is going to be convincing them. Make this a little bit bigger for you. Sorry. Which of these options would be strong evidence? A story about my personal experience or a fact of research publication? That would be a fact of research publication. Now it's going to show you your prompt or what you need to write on. In this case, looking at No Red Ink, I have given you these 2 sources or articles right here. Boom. And this one too. And then we read them in class and we took notes on what we thought we would use. We pulled out a lot of different evidence and facts. Your goal was to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 evidence or facts and find 1, 2, 3 opinions or claims so that you can write into it. But here is my advice for you. If you didn't read these in class, you can read them over here. You can use, we have some highlighting stuff. Once I've read everything, you can get into, there's some highlighting things. Let's see, let's make this a little bit bigger. And let me see. I think like I can. Now, one of the things that you have here is you can enable text to speech, so it will read for you. And of these 2 articles, one has more information. Source 1 has the smaller amount of information, and then source 2. The goal is to read through there and find evidence and opinions to help support you following this format right here. Now, what happens is this. I'm going to exit the screen on the two different sources or articles, and then I'm going to say I have read everything. And then I'm ready to write. Now we have some extra things to help us. We can look over here. I would choose to keep your articles over here. You're going to want to add a title in your introduction. But the thing that I like that No Red Ink has done is that it says, hey, maybe you forgot how to write an introduction. They give you over here definitions, okay, what it is for a thesis and a hook, and then you can view tutorials if you want. It'll go to a new screen. They'll walk you through a whole bunch of stuff about introductions, which we did talk about before in the past. But let me go back. Write your introductions, then come over to the body of your paragraph. And then over here it says, what is your body of your paragraph about? They talk about a topic sentence, which is going to be your claim right here. Shows a claim or your opinion. Your evidence, remember you need two pieces as we talked about over here. Opinion, fact, fact. That's what we're looking for. Not going back into this. And then reasoning, I didn't get too deep with you about this, but it would be one more extra sentence that tells you, based upon what you wrote with your opinion and fact, facts, why you chose this evidence to help your opinion. That's all it is. Now, also, this will help you for the next body of paragraph, but then we're going to get into the counter argument. And we went over this in class. So this is going to be you taking the side opposite of what you chose. So our prompt talks about this. Should humans try to create a settlement on Mars? So you're either going to say, yes, we should create a settlement on Mars, or no, we should stay on Earth. And your paper needs to support that. Now, let's say you want to stay on Earth. That means this third paragraph right here, the counter argument is you would need to talk about why people would go to Mars and give evidence. Let's flip that, because if you said we should go to Mars, then this counter argument paragraph should be about why you should stay on Earth as an opinion, followed by two pieces of evidence. So this is going to be your counterclaim one. Going back to this. Then your conclusion. Since I didn't dig in deep into the conclusion stuff, I want you to go through this yourself if you're not familiar with how to write a conclusion. But basically it is this. Summarize all of the stuff you read about in a new words. That's it. It can take 1 to 2, 3 sentences. No more than 3. Now, the last thing I want to show you is this. When we are going through, right here, our sources, you can grab word for word the sources to support your opinion. So therefore, if you were really good, you would only have to write those 1, 2, 3 sentences. So I will show you an example. I am going to take the position that I think that we should stay on Earth. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go pretending I'm writing in a body of my paragraph. I would say, I think it's important to stay on Earth, because it's safer than Mars. Now, I'm going to find 2 facts that support that. I'm going to go into this source right here, and I'm going to go and search for some stuff. Like right here, the biggest danger on Mars is radiation. Mars has no magnetic fields to protect humans from high-energy particles from the sun or sources called cosmic rays. On Mars, cosmic radiation is much higher than it is on Earth. I'm going to take this exact fact right here, and I'm going to say, in the article, it states Boom. And there is a no red ink on flow quotes as well as dialogue quotes. But look how I'm going to take this information right here and just put it right into my thing. On Mars, cosmic radiation is much higher than it is on Earth. And then I'm going to put my punctuation inside, and boom. Now I'm going to take one more piece of information to help me support why I think people should stay on Mars, or excuse me, Earth. Here we go. I am going to say this. Look at this right here. Here's a quotation. Okay, let me see. It's, oh no, that would create a flow quote. So let me pause this for a second. Now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this quote right here to support why I wouldn't want to be on Mars. And she says that it's hard to get information in a timely manner. So I would say I'm going to create a dialogue quote, which is going to be this. Dixon explains, comma, boom. Just being able to send pictures back and forth is a great deal of morale. Period, quote. This means that you cannot get information in a timely manner on Mars, and I like to watch news daily and watch news and talk to friends daily. And that will support my opinion of why I think it's important to stay on Earth versus Mars. Now remember, this is going to be part of my body. Now, over here in the counter argument, I'm going to talk about why some people think it's important to go to Mars, following this same format, which is going to be opinion, fact, fact. This should help get you started and answer some questions. Go back in, get notes inside of your articles to help you, and make sure you're writing it inside of here. And if you have any questions, you can always go over to here. You hit this little light bulb, and they will walk you through if you have some questions. Enjoy. Have a great day.